I'm Bruce Williams, Vice President of Integrated Technology Services for IBM. And I'm here today to talk about the success we had in using Bayley and Bender, the Awareness of Power world-class selling seminar. We went through a process at IBM of looking at a very experienced sales team and consultants with years of experience trying to decide something to do with finding a seminar and a session that would produce a lot of fun, would be very informative and analytical. And IBM does a tremendous job in solution selling and product training, but we're looking for something different. So we looked internally to IBM. And then I became aware of Bayley and Bender through a friend of mine, talked to them, and we knew within about the first 10 minutes that this was the session that we were looking for. So from idea and concept of having an event that would take our sellers out of the field for 3 days, to have fun, to build teamwork, and also to find out about themselves and maybe something different that could help them become better sellers, and to work on the things that they did very well, but also to hone and improve on the things that they were reluctant to work on. So we talked to Pat Bender about this session, and she tailored it to our particular needs and that criteria that we're looking for. Now, Pat brought to the session that we had a lot of credibility. First of all, with her outstanding track record working for IBM and the success she had as a seller, but more importantly, what she understands about the federal government and the sales cycle. So we thought that she would have instant credibility in being in front of 40 experienced sellers. So we started the session with Pat about how do you get their attention over a 3-day time period, and also to make it a lot of fun. And so the first thing we did was to have an assessment. So the 40 people who attended the session did a self-assessment. So it was a lot better than having their manager tell them, here are the things I'd like you to work on and improve on. They did a self-evaluation of themselves on their characteristics, selling characteristics, personal characteristics, things that they cared about. And I remember one of the comments was really funny from one of the managers there came to me and said, well, I'm not sure I agree with the results of the assessment. And I said, well, that's interesting because you did the assessment yourself. And they said, yeah, you're absolutely right, they did. And so we started the session. It started off with a lot of enthusiasm and energy, and what I really liked about it was the sharing, the teamwork, the camaraderie that was built from a cross-sectional people. We had very experienced consultants and a lot of experienced client executives there, and some people in sales operations. And so the combination of those 3 disciplines coming together and training over a 3-day period, the synergy that was developed during that time was unbelievable. So I will tell you that when we looked at the ratings, and we were a little, given the experience of IBMers and how successful this group was, a word about the outcome. Well, the outcome was absolutely positive. I think Pat and her team scored a near perfect score, and that was the highest rating that we had saw in an IBM sales event for 3 days. So that was really good. As I look back on that, we could tell that the results of that were really good. And so let me tell you about some of the insight that we gathered during that session. One was a little bit to know about your customers. And I think for some of our very experienced people, it was really reflective to stand back and say, maybe I need to listen to my clients more. Maybe I need to understand my clients and what motivates them and why they buy. And third, maybe I need to do a little bit better in knowing my teammates, because we all have to come together and present a solution to our client. It would be good if I understood them as well, and the things in how to make them understand the importance of what the client wants, but also in how they work to make our sessions and our solutions more productive, and absolutely to be better and on target from what the customer was expecting. So from that, we saw a great improvement across the board. And some of the comments we received from this very experienced sales team was A, very informative, B, in one case, not only will this help me do my job better, it also helped me with my family. It made me a better listener and understand even my interactions with my kids. It will help me develop and do a much better job with our clients. And we saw the results of that. In fact, one of the big results we had at the end of that year was a $150 million opportunity that we had to do a best and final proposal on. And I think the team rallied around understanding what the client was asking for, the criteria that they were going to rate the proposal on. And as a result, we wound up winning that in January of the following year, which was absolutely outstanding. And that was a big result of this session. And also, I think it was a big result from the team coming together. As I mentioned, it was multidiscipline, a very experienced team. And this resulted in them working a lot closer together and producing a positive result. For myself personally, it was a reminder of some things that I think I knew but had not practiced in a while, and it was listening to my team. So I became a better listener. I also realized that with clients, that it's much better. I was prepared to listen to them as well, to understand the things that they were really, really telling us. Because often you hear, well, we have a requirement, we're planning to spend money, but you don't ever listen to what the need is, why they're going to make the decision, how important the decision is to the federal agency. And as a result of that, I think it helped us in terms of interacting with our clients, me personally working with executives, and also working with my team. So overall, I was very pleased with the session. It was money well spent. I think the rating that the team gave the session was outstanding, and I think we benefited from the result of one large transaction that I think demonstrates the power of teamwork and multi-disciplines coming together to satisfy a customer requirement, and also an agency who voted with their dollars and selected IBM over a host of competitors.